Boy, it was nice to get sunshine and normal temperatures here in the eastern part of Caroline. Even melted a little bit of snow. With that little bit of snow melt, there could be some patchy fog tonight for Sioux Falls, Aberdeen, and eastern Caroline. Lows in the low teens. Will be a little warmer the west, the low 20s. Then tomorrow, a nice quiet start to the weekend. Partly to mostly sunny skies. 33 Sioux Falls and Aberdeen, 50 in Pierre and Rapid City, and about the same on Sunday. But a big storm lurks for next week. It could give us significant snow in some places. We're going to talk all about that in just a few minutes. KELOLAND News starts now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, KELOLAND News first at 4.
The train derailment in Ohio is shedding light on rail safety concerns as other states start to worry about the environmental hazards.
Plus, the lack of childcare and high costs have been an issue for years. We talk with advocates about what's being done about the issue in Pierre.
And later, we look at efforts both on the state and federal levels to train more students to become nurses.
Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Kelly Volk.
And I'm Don Jorgensen. Both Ohio senators are raising new concerns about rail safety following the train derailment in East Palestine.
And they sent a letter to the National Transportation Safety Board raising concerns about the weakness of current rail requirements. KELOLAND News Washington, D.C. correspondent Rashad Hudson has more.
Both Ohio Senators J.D. Vance and Sherrod Brown are demanding answers following the train derailment in East Palestine nearly 2 weeks ago. Brown says the train company has not been required to invest enough in safety.
At Norfolk Southern made huge profits, big stock buybacks, big dividends, didn't invest, and then laid off thousands of workers.
They are now asking the National Transportation Safety Board to look into improving regulations.
Could be how we label cars, minimal worker requirements in terms of worker safety.
Brown says he wants to see Norfolk Southern held accountable, but Vance says the investigation should play out first before placing blame.
We'll see what criminal culpability needs to happen when we learn more about what actually caused this.
Vance says right now he's focused on helping people return home safely.
Step one is figure out the public safety side of this. Step two is figure out the cleanup and actually get this community cleaned up properly.
Before that can happen safely, testing has to be done. So far, the EPA has tested the water and air quality to allow 500 families to return. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson.
North Dakota lawmakers are considering a bill to keep wind turbine blades out of the landfill. The blades are often made from reinforced fiberglass and are not easily broken down. There's concern landfills could run out of room. The bill encourages greener uses for parts after a wind tower is taken offline. The University of North Dakota is currently studying other uses for old blades, including grinding and adding them to concrete.
Almost 24 nursing homes across Iowa have either closed or announced that they will close over the last year. In a report from Leading Edge Iowa, the state has seen an 11% decline in workers at nursing homes and care facilities. The staffing issue means that even if a facility can stay open, it has to reduce the number of residents that it can accept. Another factor outlined in the report shows a widening gap between the costs of care and Medicaid reimbursements. In South Dakota, the state has seen 15 nursing home and assisted living closings in the last 5 years. Half of those closures have been just in the last year.
Nearly all Minnesota workers would be entitled to paid sick leave under a plan moving through the legislature. Employees would be guaranteed 1 hour of earned sick and safe time for every 30 hours worked, up to 48 hours per year. Nothing would change for workers who already have better benefits. The chief author also says that more than 900,000 Minnesota workers currently don't get paid time off to care for themselves or loved ones.
All right, let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Megan Chatta. And Megan, it sounds like the weekend's going to be okay, but something's kind of scary around the corner, though.
Yes, this weekend we are back to about normal temperatures for this time of year. But like you said, next week it's looking a little iffy. Right now, Sioux Falls is at 34 degrees with just a very light breeze and plenty of sunshine. 32 in Aberdeen. Few clouds across the sky, but we are warm to the west. Pierre at 51 this afternoon, and Rapid City at 50 with plenty of sunshine there. Here is a look at some of our afternoon temperatures. Like I said, near normal in eastern KELOLAND, 20s and 30s. Warmer temperatures, though, to the west in those 40s and even 50s. But there is that big change coming Tuesday through Thursday. There is a big system setting up, almost making a bullseye right over KELOLAND, especially in eastern KELOLAND. Everybody is in a almost better chance than 50-50 to see 6 inches of snow or more. There's a couple areas that have those better chances to see even higher amounts, like the Black Hills, around the wind turbines in southwestern Minnesota, and for some reason Mitchell keeps popping up in that higher amount. But for tonight, we could see a few areas of fog in eastern KELOLAND. 12 are low in Sioux Falls, 11 in Aberdeen, 22 in Pierre, and 21 in Rapid City. And tomorrow, warming temperatures, 33 for Sioux Falls, 33 also in Aberdeen, 50 in Pierre, and 50 in Rapid City, all with a light breeze and plenty of sunshine. The rest of the weekend looks to be about the same, but we'll have more details on that chance of snow coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thanks a lot, Megan. Well, Sioux Falls police say it was thanks to a tip that they were able to find a missing teenager. Authorities thank the public for helping them find 13-year-old Rain Genesi. She was located last night safe. A Sioux Falls man will spend 15 years behind bars for conspiracy to distribute meth. 29-year-old James Verbrugge and others were responsible for distributing pure meth in South Dakota. One transaction took place in a grocery store parking lot involving more than 300 grams of meth valued at $4,600. This case was investigated by the Sioux Falls Area Drug Task Force and the Drug Enforcement Administration.
A bill moving forward in the North Dakota legislature would extend the statute of limitations in civil cases involving sex crimes. The measure would give victims of sexual assault and childhood sexual abuse more time to file a lawsuit. The North Dakota Senate passed the bill unanimously. It now goes to the House. Mothers from around Minnesota and other gun control advocates campaigned at the state capitol in Minnesota for stricter gun laws. Moms Demand Action and others gathered for the annual Minneapolis-St. Paul Advocacy Day to demand more gun control legislation. The founder of Mothers Against Community Gun Violence said no one has a right to take a life.
So today, 32 months, 978 days, 23,463 hours, as I speak, was the last time I saw, touched, kissed, hugged, or loved on my precious baby girl.
Gun safety advocates are pushing for criminal background checks for all gun sales and transfers. They also want safe storage laws and a red flag law, which would allow a judge to temporarily ban a person from having a gun if they are deemed to be a risk to themselves or others.